This is the Jason Walker Show. Two-time National Sports Media Association Montana Sportscaster of the Year and three-time loser, the Jason Walker Show. The best local and statewide sports coverage, featuring the biggest guests from Montana.
Flint Rasmussen joining us here on the Jason Walker Show.
He's freaking exhausting, too. You used to dance a lot more. Yeah, I know, lady. I'm 51 years old now.
The NAI Hall of Famer Mike Van Diest joining us here, Jason Walker Show. And is it just a deal where quarterbacks have to be good golfers?
Well, that's all they have time for. They don't work out. They don't lift weights. They don't do anything else. They might as well go get on the golf course and at least have some fun.
And from across the country,
Doug Gottlieb, our guest here on the Jason Walker Show.
End of the day, remember, it's your show. It's got your name on it.
Howie Mandel, our guest here.
Jason Walker, deal or no deal?
the Jason Walker Show.
Hey, what up? Happy Wednesday. Jason Walker Show inside the Off-the-Wall Advertising Mancave. Off the Wall will get your name out there and get it done for you. Check them out. Off-the-Wall Advertising in Helena. Get a hold of Chase and the gang. They are fantastic and super fun. Big show coming up today on a place you can watch on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. You can always listen on Podbean, Network One Sports, Spotify, iHeart, Podcasts, Apple, Google. We're everywhere. You can always just go to jasonwalkershow.com and check out Continental Divide Radio. It's a great radio station that's on the internet. So is it really radio if it's on the internet? Just go check it out. It's fantastic. Coming up today, Kyle Mihelish will talk about his team's big win over Helena High in Crosstown. Look ahead to a huge matchup this week on the road in the Flathead Valley. Also going to talk to Tyler Murray about the Vigilantes' big come-from-behind win on homecoming and moving into playoff contention. Also on this day in history, much more on the way. Tweet us anytime at JWalkerSports. You can also email Jason at jasonwalkershow.com. The walk-up, we like to call, is presented by Montana Custom Log Homes, the premier log home company in the industry with three distinct divisions, so you can create the log home of your dreams and your budget. Milled, handcrafted, and timber frame. 50-plus years experience. Check them out, yourcustomlog.com, to get started today. We'll talk a little Grizz football in a minute as well. We're going to start Crosstown. Helena High won its fifth consecutive match overall and its fifth Crosstown regular season victory, sixth overall, counting playoffs. It was a clean sweep of Capital. 25-19, 25-14, 25-11. So Helena High getting it done in Crosstown. Last night, Capital now 2-5, has lost 4 of its last 5 overall. And we all know how sports goes in cycles, and right now it is Helena High cycle. Remember Capital a few years ago, with 3 straight, 70-some consecutive wins, 72, I think. 6-1 in conference play is Helena High now. So there you go. You got state golf starting tomorrow. The Double A's down in Billings. Class A at Sydney. That all gets underway tomorrow. Bella Johnson going for a three-peat on the Double A side for West. Would be a fun tournament. Pro basketball coming to Great Falls for the 4th time in the last 45 years. The Great Falls Electric basketball team will play in the basketball league starting in March. Jim Keogh, who used to run, maybe still does, Pioneer League team up there. J.C. Isaacson is going to be the head of basketball operations. He is also the head coach at Providence. And hopefully you're going to use his connections. We'll try to get a hold of JC. Brendan Howard and Isaac Howard, the first 2 signees. So, let's see. They will play 12 road games, 12 home games. They'll play at Four Seasons Arena in Great Falls. March 3rd and 4th will be the first 2 games. The last time pro basketball in Great Falls was in 2008. Great Falls Explorers, Continental Basketball Association. It folded. The league did. And this will be the first time since then, 15 years, that there will be pro basketball in the Electric City. So. All right, a lot of talk this week about what happened down in Flagstaff with the Grizz, losing 28-14. Bobby Houck not pleased with a member of the media in his press conference after the game, asking about Sam Vidlick. Sam Herder, Hero Sports FCS, who we've had on the show before, has continually been dropping the Grizz in his rankings, even though they were winning. And he goes, well, we'll let him explain it here in a second. But he's mystified that the Grizz are still ranked, as are a lot of people. I think they came in at number 18 this week. Let's just listen. Sam Herder's podcast, Hero Sports FCS. This is Sam Herder talking about Montana.
Top 25. And the problem with this is Montana is just holding on to their brand name and the logo on their helmet, because if you've actually watched all 16 quarters of Montana, what have they shown that tells you they are one of the 25 best teams in the FCS? To say that you think, Montana can beat, at least 80, whatever it be, 90 teams or whatever it is, in the FCS, and that they are the number 20 team in the subdivision, just shows that you aren't actually watching what Montana is doing this year, because they are just not playing good football right now. Special teams is still really strong. I think the defense overall, has been solid, but offensively, their offensive line, which was supposed to be the best that they've had in quite some time, not playing to the potential. The quarterback position, is a mess. The wide receivers that a lot of us, including me, hyped up, they're not getting separation. They're not making plays. They're not coming up big in big time moments. And this NAU performance was exactly what I've been seeing all season long. And it started with the Butler performance when it was a one-score game well into the second half, and that made me go, oh, okay, that's a bit off. And then last week, Ferris State, the number one team in Division II, took Montana down to the wire. And I dropped Montana last week, even after winning Division II Ferris State, or even after beating Division II Ferris State, because I watched that game and I watched the previous two games, and I said, I had Montana number 15 or number 16, somewhere around there, and I just don't think they're the 15th best team based on what I'm seeing when I'm watching these games, and I dropped them several spots. And the fact that even after losing to a previously 0-3 Northern Arizona team, that the Grizz are still ranked, it's just straight up telling me that people aren't watching Montana, they're not watching them actually play, and they're holding on to their preseason notions way too much. Because even though Montana lost in the second round last year, even though Montana had their third new starting quarterback in 3 years, and even though Montana lost 3 or 4 All-American names on defense, a lot of people still thought in the preseason that Montana was going to be a better team this year than they were last year. And a lot of people had Montana ranked in the top 15. Some people had Montana ranked in the top 10. And the problem is, not a lot of voters are actually watching all of these games. And to a certain extent, I get that. A lot of voters in the media poll are either conference or team SIDs, or their radio, TV, writers covering, a certain beat. And they all do an absolutely wonderful job, and I have a great amount of respect for these guys, and I lean on these other local beat writers, in terms of getting information about their team, because I try to, have my eyes, all over the place and try to get a feel for all the teams. But they're slammed on Saturdays, and they're not watching games, all across the country, and they don't have, a great feel for what's going on across the landscape of the FCS, because they frankly just don't have time to. And the reality is there just isn't a lot of national media coverage of the FCS. And so what's happening here is a lot of people are high on Montana. The Grizz started 3-0, and so Montana stayed in the top 15 and the top 10 in all of these individual ballots, because they kept on winning and were 3-0, and possibly even moved up in the ballots because they kept on winning. And once Montana lost to NAU, it seems a lot of voters have the mindset of, well, I can't move a team from 12 to all the way out of my top 25. I can't move a team based off of one loss from 15 all the way out of my top 25, when in reality, you really can. Because in reality, if you watch that Butler game and you watch that Ferris State game, Montana was never the 12th best team in the country. Montana was never the 15th best team in the country. Montana was never the 20th best team in the country. And this performance against Northern Arizona proved that. It was an utter disaster offensively. And there's no way you can actually watch all 16 quarters of Montana play this year and say they are a top 25 team in the FCS. And again, most Grizz fans would agree with this. Most Grizz fans are calling this the worst loss they've seen in a lot of years. Most Grizz fans are calling out players individually, saying they should be benched. Not most, but a lot of Grizz fans were watching this game and were utterly disgusted with what they've seen. And yet Montana is still getting high enough votes to be, I think it's number 18 in the media poll and number 16 in the coaches poll. I mean, come on. What are we doing here? Actually watch the games. And even go beyond just the resume. If you want to just look at their resume, look at who they beat, look at how they beat those teams, look at who they lost to, and even that alone on paper resume should bump Montana out of people's top 25. But actually watching all 16 quarters of Montana play, they are not a top 25 team. And the fact that the Grizz, still are, I think is honestly just really surprising, hugely surprising to me that people are looking at what Montana has done this year and still have them in their top 25 when there are way more teams deserving to be in the top 25 and way more teams in the FCS that would beat Montana on a neutral field based off of what Montana is showing on the field this year. So there's my rant on that. Again, before anyone says that I have some Montana hate, remember a year ago at this time I had, the biggest Montana boner, according to some other people, because I had them ranked so high. So I think there's a lot of people that also are questioning why Montana is in the top 25. And these people know what they're talking about. They watch a lot of FCS football. I value their opinion. And they're not saying it because they have some hatred toward Montana or they're doing it out of spite. You literally either look at the paper resume or you go beyond that and actually watch Montana play. In the Grizz, they can certainly turn things around and be deserving of a top 25 ranking. But as of right now, through 16 quarters, I just don't see a way where Montana is one of the best 25 teams in the FCS.
So there you go. That is Sam Herder. You can check him out on the Twitter if you disagree with him. And some people do, but he's right. A lot of people, including Grizz fans, are saying, why is this team ranked so high and still in the top 25? And Sam brought it up. You look at the paper resume, they barely beat Butler, they barely beat Ferris State, and both of those were at home. And then they lose to a very not good Big Sky Conference team this year in NAU. So we'll see. Like Sam said, though, you can turn things around, but he nails it. It's on the point. And this isn't, like he said, I don't have hatred for Montana because I'm a Montana State fan. I respect what the Grizz have done over the last 30 years, but it hasn't been the same the last 10. And Bobby Houck has a 6-5 record against the Cats all time in both of his stints. So don't tell me he's this world-class coach beater. So, all right. If you disagree, if you agree, you can tweet us at JWalkerSports. You can email Jason at jasonwalkershow.com. But, yep. Lots of talk in the Big Sky. 7 teams are ranked in the Big Sky Conference. It's crazy. I mean, that's over or just under a third of the poll. Oh, man. All right, let's see. What else did we see? Cats at home this week. Grizz at home this week. Grizz taking on Idaho State. Cats hosting Portland State. So, you got Carroll at Northern this weekend. It'll be a good game. Carroll Tech, it's coming down. We're a long ways away. But that Carroll Tech game in November, I think it's on the 11th in Nelson Stadium, could decide the Frontier Conference champion. It's going to be a good one. And that one counts in the conference standings. The earlier matchup did not, in which Carroll won at Bob Green Field. Let's see. Speaking of golf, because Scarlett Weidig from Montana State got 3 birdies over the last 6 holes to win the Big Sky's 54 for 9 golf tournament title. And I think the Cats took 2nd overall. But congratulations to her. That's pretty awesome. That was down in Saratoga Springs, Utah this week. So there you go. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back. When we return to the Off-the-Wall Advertising Man Cave, we'll check in with Kyle Mihelish. His team picked up a huge win in Crosstown. I don't think many people thought the score was going to be 35-0, but it was, and he'll talk about it when we return. Here to the Jason Walker Show, the walk-up brought to you by Montana Custom Log Homes, veteran-owned, family-owned, woman-owned, and operated. And again, anytime you want to disagree or agree or weigh in on anything, you can get a hold of us at JWalker Sports. Coming right back, Kyle Mihelish, Capital football coach, next.
Strength, beauty, grit, superior craftsmanship. Our homes have it all. At Montana Custom Log Homes, if you can dream it, we can build it. With 3 divisions and over 50 years experience, we've got you covered. From a showcase home to a small cabin, we make your vision a reality. Because every cowboy wants a castle for his queen. Montana Custom Log Homes, crafting homes that last for generations.
There's only one place in Helena to cure your craving for Cajun cuisine, and that is Cafe Zydeco. From po' boys and catfish to jambalaya and much more, Cafe Zydeco has the best Cajun this side of New Orleans. And Cafe Zydeco cares about those that take care of us. Military, law enforcement, first responders can get your drink free as a way of saying thank you to those that protect us every day. If you're looking for a place to grab lunch or dinner, get the flavor of the Big Easy in Big Sky Country at Cafe Zydeco on Euclid in Helena.
Who doesn't love being number one? When your team's dominating the standings or your favorite band rocks the charts at number one, it feels good, right? Kind of like how it feels when you have auto insurance with State Farm. Because making you feel like number one is an honor your local State Farm agent takes seriously. Through the good times and not so good, your State Farm agent's proud to be here to help life go right.
Call State Farm agent Mike Miller in Helena today. If you are truly looking to get away for a weekend, let Auto Concepts get you started. Introducing the Overlander camping setup. The tent fits right on top of your truck, sleeps 3, and features an LED light bar and USB connections. It's easy to travel with and pack up to get you away from everyone and up off the ground. Auto Concepts also will get your rig detailed to look good for the summer to make sure your vehicle looks sharp inside and out. Auto Concepts does window tinting, lift kits, cattle guards, and more. Everything your vehicle needs. Auto Concepts, the auto enhancement professionals.
Summer, the season to work hard, play hard. The days are heating up and getting longer. The smell of fresh cut grass, the hot sun on your skin. Who we kidding? We all know you're really thinking about having fun and relaxing at the Copper Club Casino. Meet your friends for a cold one. Play a $5 or $2. And when you want great service, cold drinks, and fun entertainment, this is the place. The Copper Club Casino, where everybody knows your name any time of year. On Euclid, across from Molendi Center, the Copper Club Casino.
Do you love to look at photos of Montana, from animals to landscapes and more? Are you looking for a place to get your senior pictures or family portraits done? Are you a business owner looking to upgrade the decor in your offices? Well, look no further than Mark LaRoe Photography. Mark has been shooting beautiful photos all across the Treasure State, from rodeos to portraits, and would love to work with you. Visit marklaroephotography.com to see many masterpieces of his work, then give him a call to schedule your own photo shoot. Or to purchase one of his fantastic pieces, stop by Spirit of the Big Sky Gallery on Custer in Helena. marklaroephotography.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, party from the window to the wall with Lil Jon. November 3rd at Brick Breeden Fieldhouse. With special guest Chingy, DJ Aspen, and Bozeman's own Missy O'Malley. Go get your tickets right now at liljonbozeman.com.
Jason Walker here, and if you're like me, some nights are mine to cook at home, and there's only one place that I know I can trust for a quick, easy meal for my family. Dinner's Done Right. When I stop into Dinner's Done Right, I trust that there will be a great selection of food that is healthy and easy to cook, either that night with their ready-to-make dinners, or I can plan for a weekend dinner from their frozen choices. And when I'm out and about in town, I know I can stop in for the grab-and-go salad bar with the freshest ingredients and homemade dressings. For monthly menus and more, visit dinnersdoneright.com.
Store-wide savings are what you'll find when you shop for new home furnishings at Rucker's Furniture. This means tremendous values on Helena's largest in-stock selection of home furnishings. When you shop Rucker's, you'll find store-wide savings on the furniture you want for every room in your home. And you'll also find our selection of Serta iComfort, the most comfortable beds in Helena. 12-month financing is available with approved credit on most purchases over $289. Ask for details. You'll find store-wide savings at Rucker's Furniture, 1010 Dearborn, Helena.
This is the Jason Walker Show.
All at once just to get me along. It's a difficulty and I'm biting on my tongue. And I keep stalling and keeping it together. People around gotta find something to say now. Holding back every
Welcome back, Jason Walker Show. This segment brought to you by Rucker's Furniture, 1010 Dearborn, Helena. Talked before about how we get a lot of our furniture from Rucker's. You know why? Because it lasts. It is. We've got our beds, tables, chairs. It's good stuff. Rucker's Furniture in Helena. Love it. And great family as well. Speaking of great family, that's what the Capital football team is every year, and their head coach is Kyle Mihelish. Bruins picked up a big win over the weekend against Helena High. Big road game this week coming up at Glacier. And to talk about all that and more is Coach Mihelish joining us on the Mike Miller State Farm Hotline here on the Jason Walker Show. All right, Coach, I was talking to my wife. It was kind of a dominating weekend across Friday and Saturday. You had NAU dominate the Grizz, the Cats, obviously, with Weber. Broncos get dominated 70-20. You guys put up a 35 spot and hold Helena High scoreless. What went so right in your game on Friday night?
You know, the one thing we talk about every week is execution, and our guys executed. They played well, blocked well, tackled well. You know, just all the regular things that coaches say. But, I mean, you go back and you look at the film, and, you know, they played I don't want to say a mistake-free game, but we didn't turn the ball over. We did a lot of things good, and it was a good performance by our guys.
You guys go with the Wildcat a little bit with Cole Graham in the backfield, 3 touchdowns for him. Obviously found something in practice or on film that you could expose with the Bengals, and you did with Cole.
That was one thing Cole Graham's a heck of a football player. He's been injured. He's had a bad hip flexor here for, most of camp and through the first part of the year. And he kind of finally got healthy, and he was always going to be in the mix as one of our running backs. Tough and Baumgart and Williams, and like we said earlier in the year, we got a stable full of guys, and so we found a time now that Graham is healthy and he's going to touch the ball, and he's in the mix now, and we're going to continue with all of them. So it was good to see him have a good night.
And you mentioned,
the offensive line did a great job. I mean, we call that the Brown package, and we bring in an extra lineman, and a couple other guys are a part of that. The receivers are out, and we're just going to run power and pound it.
And you definitely did, especially up the middle. You mentioned no turnovers. Merrick played. Was it his best game of the year?
He played well. I mean, there's obviously room for improvement, but he had a good game.
You mentioned the line, and on a wet, muddy field, and that field's not going to be the same for the rest of the year.
No, it's done.
It is toast for the rest of the year. But it's important to keep your footing, and both offensive and defensive lines were able to do that. And it's like I said, it's important in a game like that on sloppy conditions. What spikes did you guys go with, or cleats?
No, we didn't. During the playoff run last year, we did some quags and we borrowed them from Carroll, but no, we just, whatever the kids were wearing is what we went with. It was, it's so important to keep it's hard to keep your footing in that particular situation. I mean, you got to keep, you got short, choppy steps. You got to have your balance underneath you. Can't have an elongated stance. I mean, it's, it was for everybody. Everybody was slipping. We were, Helena High was. Mm-hmm. We were all on the same field. I've never coached in a game of that magnitude, as far as, and the field being so depleted, so destroyed. I mean, the mud was just tremendous. The wet, like 3 or 4 years ago, I don't remember, but, we had a foot of snow in the crosstown. So, I mean, it seems like crosstown week of late, kind of gets the weather.
It has. Well, it's been at the end of the year, so you get the cold, snowy conditions. It was a little chilly, but nonstop rain. And like we said, that field is toast for the rest of the year now. How does that, and I know you guys are on the road for 3 of the next 4, but how does that change, game planning because of the field conditions for the rest of the year?
Well, before the game, when Dane and I were talking, I said, you know what, lucky for us, we're on the road for the next 3 or 4. You guys get to play on this. We're going to be on turf. So no, it'll be interesting. Our guys, we haven't been on the road, and I guess we're going to find out what type of road team we are. Mm-hmm. It is nice to know that we will be on fields that the field won't be a factor, but to us, the field wasn't a factor for us last Friday, but no, it'll be interesting to see how we react up in Kalispell as far as on the road. One thing I do like about the road is you get to leave, obviously. You're with one another. You're focused. You're not at school. You're not around the girlfriends and everything else. And we're focused and we're together. And we got one purpose, and that's to win a football game.
Kyle Mihelish joining us, Capital football coach, Mike Miller, State Farm Hotline. At Glacier this week, this is a very good football team. It starts with their quarterback. He's just a sophomore. He's very good. And I talked to Matt Upham, one of the assistants, a couple years ago, and he said, we're not going to be good for a couple years, but watch out for this year's team. And they come as advertised. Take away the loss to Butte. This is a very good Wolfpack team. Very good. They're good everywhere. I mean, like you said, the quarterback's good. He can sling it. And also, he doesn't run it much, but when he has to, pocket breaks down, he goes. They run some zone read with him. They do some wildcat stuff with another guy as well, a receiver, safety type kid. Big up front, both sides. I mean, the tackles are 280 and 300 pounds. They got a big guard that pulls. Receivers are good on the perimeter. I mean, there's not a lot of weaknesses to the team. It's certainly going to be a large task for us to go up there and get them. But, I told our guys, we don't have anything to lose. I mean, this year everybody expected us to be a real average football team. And, all we've heard for a year is how great Glacier is. So, we don't have anything to lose. So there's no pressure on us. And you can tell our guys feel that way. And we're just going to go up there and play a football game. They've got the ability for big plays. Kobe Dorchius, the one of the backs, he had 140 yards last week and only carried it 4 times and scored twice. You got Go Chichia, who's pretty good as well. How do you adjust defensively for both of those guys? Take out the quarterback. Well, that's the thing. It's a chess game, and at times we're going to have a safety roll down in the alley to help us out. At times we're going to have 7-8 in the box and take a chance. And there's going to be times where, we only have 5-6 guys in the box, and we're going to have to take away their receivers and, in passing situations and go with some of their tendencies. Every team has tendencies, and we certainly know what theirs are. So hopefully we guess right at the right time, and we can put our kids in the right position and we can make plays. Kyle Mihelish joining us, Jason Walker Show. Frontier, big weekend. You got Carroll and Tech both 2-0. Big Sky, the Cats dominated. Like I said earlier, the Grizz lose on the road. But takeaways from the weekend of football in the college front.
Well, I was happy to see the Saints got a big victory there. They're undefeated. I talked to Coach Norris yesterday about being a dog. We talk often. It was good to see the Western Bulldogs. They lost to Hail Mary there a few weeks ago, so they should be sitting a little better. Kyle's doing a great job over at Tech, being a former Bruin there, so we communicate every week. I was surprised at both Big Sky scores. I watched a little of the Grizz game, and they just seemed a little lethargic, a little down, losing 28-14, I think it was.
Yep.
And then the Saturday night, seeing a 40-0 come across the screen, I was surprised about that. That's a huge win for the Bobcats.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, and I watched that one.
Did you?
Yeah.
Wasn't it? In Weber, and Weber's a top 10 team, so that's a tremendous victory there.
Yeah, you go on the road and pitch a shutout in the Big Sky. That's pretty impressive.
That is very.
Tiger.
And then the Wolverines won.
You talking Michigan or?
Michigan Wolverines.
Oh, you're a Michigan guy?
Been a Michigan fan since about 85, 86.
Oh, okay. You go back to the Schembechler days then.
Yeah, and Harbaugh was the quarterback. I saw him playing the Fiesta Bowl when I was young, and then I came out of there going, I think I'm a Michigan fan.
Okay, I can see it. It's not Ohio State or Notre Dame, so that's okay.
Yeah.
How about that game?
Yeah, that was a great game. And in the last two plays, you play with 10. Notre Dame had 10 on the field the last two plays.
As a coaching staff, how does that happen?
I don't. It can happen, but there's probably the excitement and everything. They're trying to get their goal line package in, and I'm sure they had personnel groupings that weren't tuned in and didn't go in. And I don't know. I guess you could call it timeout. I don't know how many timeouts they had, but I guess it can happen.
That's crazy.
Sometimes I look at it and say, well, I don't know. I guess if I was the D coordinator making $1 million a year, that shouldn't happen.
Yeah, exactly. It's easy to judge from home, too.
Yes, it is.
Hey, it is National Crush a Can Day today. Last time you crushed a can. And do you just do the crush in the middle, or, you're old Western Bulldog, so maybe off the forehead?
No. I've never been a big crush the can guy, but if I do, I put it on the ground probably and crush it with your foot.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I don't know where it comes from, but this is my favorite time of the day when I talk to coaches is
I know some of my buddies, have that crush the can thing on the wall where they just press a little lever down and crush it and it goes into a garbage can.
That's lazy.
Yeah, that is. You got to give it yourself. You got to do it yourself, I think, to make it a crush the can, right?
That's absolutely. I completely concur with that. Hey, good luck this weekend on the road at a very good Glacier team. Looking forward to another Bruin victory, and we'll talk next week, Coach.
All right, thanks, Jason. Appreciate it.
Capital Coach Kyle Mihelish joining us, Mike Miller State Farm Hotline. All of our guests appear via the Mike Miller State Farm Hotline. It's not just a bundle. It is your home, your auto, your life. Mike understands that, and he treats you like family. Get a hold of Mike Miller State Farm in Helena today. We'll take a break. We'll come back, and when we return, we'll check in with East Helena coach Tyler Murray. My Vigilantes picked up a huge win over the weekend and moved themselves into playoff contention. We'll talk to Coach about that. And on this day in history coming up, the walk-off and much more. Jason Walker Show on a Wednesday. Hang on.
Store-wide savings are what you'll find when you shop for new home furnishings at Rucker's Furniture. This means tremendous values on Helena's largest in-stock selection of home furnishings. When you shop Rucker's, you'll find store-wide savings on the furniture you want for every room in your home. And you'll also find our selection of Serta iComfort, the most comfortable beds in Helena. 12-month financing is available with approved credit on most purchases over $289. Ask for details. You'll find store-wide savings at Rucker's Furniture, 1010 Dearborn, Helena.
If you are truly looking to get away for a weekend, let Auto Concepts get you started. Introducing the Overlander camping setup. The tent fits right on top of your truck, sleeps 3, and features an LED light bar and USB connections.
It's easy to travel with and pack up to get you away from everyone and up off the ground. Auto Concepts also will get your rig detailed to look good for the summer to make sure your vehicle looks sharp inside and out. Auto Concepts does window tinting, lift kits, cattle guards, and more. Everything your vehicle needs. Auto Concepts, the auto enhancement professionals.
Who doesn't love being number one? When your team's dominating the standings, or your favorite band rocks the charts at number one, it feels good, right? Kind of like how it feels when you have auto insurance with State Farm. Because making you feel like number one is an honor your local State Farm agent takes seriously. Through the good times and not so good, your State Farm agent's proud to be here to help life go right.
Call State Farm agent Mike Miller in Helena today.
There's only one place in Helena to cure your craving for Cajun cuisine, and that is Cafe Zydeco. From po' boys and catfish to jambalaya and much more, Cafe Zydeco has the best Cajun this side of New Orleans. And Cafe Zydeco cares about those that take care of us. Military, law enforcement, first responders can get your drink free as a way of saying thank you to those that protect us every day. If you're looking for a place to grab lunch or dinner, get the flavor of the Big Easy in Big Sky Country at Cafe Zydeco on Euclid in Helena.
Ladies and gentlemen, party from the window to the wall with Lil Jon. November 3rd at Brick Breeden Fieldhouse. With special guests Chingy, DJ Aspen, and Bozeman's own Missy O'Malley. Go get your tickets right now at liljonbozeman.com.
Do you love to look at photos of Montana, from animals to landscapes and more? Are you looking for a place to get your senior pictures or family portraits done? Are you a business owner looking to upgrade the decor in your offices? Well, look no further than Mark LaRoe Photography. Mark has been shooting beautiful photos all across the Treasure State, from rodeos to portraits, and would love to work with you. Visit marklaroephotography.com to see many masterpieces of his work, then give him a call to schedule your own photo shoot. Or to purchase one of his fantastic pieces, stop by Spirit of the Big Sky Gallery on Custer in Helena. marklaroephotography.com.
Strength, beauty, grit, superior craftsmanship. Our homes have it all. At Montana Custom Log Homes, if you can dream it, we can build it. With 3 divisions and over 50 years experience, we've got you covered. From a showcase home to a small cabin, we make your vision a reality. Because every cowboy wants a castle for his queen. Montana Custom Log Homes, crafting homes that last for generations.
Jason Walker here, and if you're like me, some nights are mine to cook at home, and there's only one place that I know I can trust for a quick, easy meal for my family. Dinner's Done Right. When I stop into Dinner's Done Right, I trust that there will be a great selection of food that is healthy and easy to cook, either that night with their ready-to-make dinners, or I can plan for a weekend dinner from their frozen choices. And when I'm out and about in town, I know I can stop in for the grab-and-go salad bar with the freshest ingredients and homemade dressings. For monthly menus and more, visit dinnersdoneright.com.
Summer, the season to work hard, play hard. The days are heating up and getting longer. The smell of fresh cut grass, the hot sun on your skin. Who we kidding? We all know you're really thinking about having fun and relaxing at the Copper Club Casino. Meet your friends for a cold one. Play a $5 or $2. When you want great service, cold drinks, and fun entertainment, this is the place. The Copper Club Casino, where everybody knows your name any time of year. On Euclid, across from Molendi Center, the Copper Club Casino.
Welcome back to the Jason Walker Show.
Welcome back. Final segment in the Off-the-Wall Advertising Man Cave on a Wednesday. Segment brought to you by Copper Club Casino. Hot games, warm staff, cold drinks. On this date, this song was released by Billy Joel in 1989. It's kind of a history lesson if you listen to the whole thing. I think Billy Joel, I've seen it, he wrote it like 15 or 20 minutes at his kitchen table. was like he was 45 or something at the time, so it's like his history of his life at that point. We need an updated version of this one. I think there is one, but it's not as good. So We Didn't Start the Fire, Billy Joel, this date, 1989, would become a number one hit. So there you go. Well, the East Helena Vigilantes are moving their way to becoming a number one hit in the state of Montana in Class A football. Picked up a come-from-behind 20-18 homecoming win over Glendive on Friday night. And joining us on the Mike Miller State Farm Hotline to talk about that, look ahead to this week's game at Havre. And how does coaching philosophy change now that you're in playoff contention? Here's Tyler Murray joining us, Jason Walker Show. All right, Coach, congratulations. A homecoming victory. And it puts East Helena kind of in the playoff hunt, which is very cool. But let's talk about the win last week, a little come from behind her.
Yeah, great job by our kids, and just it was a fun time. In the second half, they're just coming back and doing their job, winning at their job, and getting it done. So that was cool.
Give me some guys that impressed you last week.
Well, just in general, our defense, caused 5 turnovers. And a couple of them just wet ball, kind of on ball on the ground, that sort of thing. But we went and got 2 picks and forced a couple fumbles as well. So, some good performance on defense for sure. Offensively, we had Hayden Wright, he's junior, ran the ball 36 times for like 180. So he was kind of our workhorse, and then a couple other guys stepped up. Our O-line worked real hard. Talked to them all week about we'd be able to run the ball. It's going to rain. That was huge for us.
It's a great win, and you're down 18-zip at halftime. You come back. I mean, like you said, it's homecoming weekend. There's a lot of excitement. It's rainy. It's kind of chilly, but it was a lot of fun, I bet, to be on that sideline in that second half when the clock struck 0.
Yep, sure was. It was just kids could feel the momentum building, and it was fun.
What was the environment like?
I think there were a few people that left at halftime. But no, the student section was loud. Our kids on our sideline and our coaches, we could all feel it as it was going. It was like first play of the second half. They fumbled, gave it to us. We called flea flicker and score, and it was kind of, big mo from there. So, it was just fun.
It's so cool. And my wife and I were talking about it the other day, but, she grew up and went to Capital. So homecoming had a different feel, but my daughter's, out at East Helena now, and she got to go to the parade with her class and everything. And I love the smaller towns, and East Helena is not exactly a small town, but everybody gets involved in the homecoming. It's about one school and one team, and that's pretty awesome. The support that East Helena shows, which we've talked about a lot, but she's my wife, like I said, to finish my point, she's not quite used to it. So it was cool for her to experience something like that.
Yeah, I totally agree. Like I said last week too, I think that's one of the most important parts of the homecoming week is the parade and everybody seeing each other, and the kids getting able to see the volleyball team, the football team, the soccer team, the cheerleaders, the band, and say, oh, I want to be like that kid right there. I want to be like those guys, those girls, that sort of thing. I think that's awesome for kids and community.
East Helena football coach Tyler Murray joining us, Mike Miller, State Farm Hotline. All right, I mentioned it. 2 wins now. You're kind of in that playoff hunt. 6 teams make the playoffs out of the East, and a win or 2 more, and you guys are right there. How does your focus shift now? Because you said this could be a playoff team, and lo and behold, halfway through the season, you've got a chance.
Yeah, I don't think the focus shifts off of just one game at a time. This team we play this week. Havre is a a playoff caliber team as well. So, it's got to take care of business. For that, I talked to the kids last week. We had a great week of practice. That was kind of the factor of us having a chance to win and ended up winning. So I think, that's kind of our focus this week is, hey, let's have a great week of practice.
Havre traditionally pretty good, struggled last week in a victory over Lockwood, but this is a traditional program that a lot of schools that are starting up, like in East Helena, can pattern themselves after. Like, look, they've had history, they've had success, but what do you see from this year's Blue Ponies?
Yeah, they're a good squad. They have some. They were really young last year, from what I can gather. So some juniors and seniors that are good players for them. Their line, believe, most of them only play one way, so they're pretty fresh on that. Some really good skill kids that kind of a little bit different feel than some of the teams we've seen before. So they're a good team.
What kind of offense do they run that's a little bit different from what you guys have seen?
I wouldn't say that. I mean, their offense is almost, at least structure-wise, is the same as ours. They do a couple more things, like they'll get under center and get in the eye and double tight and that sort of thing, occasionally. And so that sort of thing. They're going to do some more jet sweep, that sort of thing. But it's pretty similar to our offense as well.
What type of defense do they run?
3-4, mostly cover 4. That's what I'm calling it, as far as their checks and that sort of thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Tyler Murray joining us here, East Helena football coach. It's a great place to go play a high school football game. Blue Pony Stadium with the tiers, the fans parked around the outside. It's a great place. I don't know if you've been there, but love Blue Pony Stadium. It's a great environment for high school football.
Yep, definitely been there. Yeah, it's fun. It's cool. I played my last high school football game there. Hamilton went up there. We lost in the quarterfinals. And then, I played there a couple times while I was at Western before Northern had a new stadium. So, yeah, it's an awesome place. I've been talking to the kids about it, just kind of letting them know how it's going to look and that sort of thing. I think that's important. Obviously, they see it on film, but when you're on the sideline and you come out of the underneath the bleachers and all that sort of thing, it's just a little different. So getting them prepped for that, I think, is important to mentally.
I think it's a great football stadium. Like I said, I've never seen a high school game there, but I've called Carroll games there when they would play at Northern, but lots of fun. Let's see here. Today is National Crush a Can Day today. Last time you crushed a can.
Crush a can?
Yeah. Are you the guys that you just crush it, or do you slam it off your forehead?
Well, you won't get into too many stories, but
you went to Western, so I know where that one was going.
No, usually, I like to crush them and recycle and that sort of thing. But crush a can.
Yeah,
that's kind of weird.
It is. They have weird days, and that's the ones I like to look at. It's also Chocolate Milk Day today, so I'm sure chocolate milk is big in the East Helena Vigilante program.
Oh yeah, we talked. Yeah. Oh yeah, chocolate milk. Once again, if you go to Western, you get that's about one of your 7 options. You don't have 18,000 options at the cafeteria.
Right.
Chocolate milk goes pretty fast at Western. So
it's great after a performance, though. After practice, after a game, it's a great rejuvenator.
Yep. 2%. I get. I'm a whole milk drinker, so I get a whole milk, chocolate milk, end of the day, almost every day.
Okay. I like that. I like that a lot. My daughter's big into chocolate milk, so I'm teaching her the right way, Coach.
Oh yeah.
I'm trying to anyway. All right. Hey, safe travels up to Havre, and good luck this week. Keep the momentum rolling for the Vigilantes. I enjoy it, and we'll talk next week.
All right. Thanks, Jason. Appreciate it. Have a good day.
East Helena coach Tyler Murray joining us on the Mike Miller State Farm Hotline, and big game on the road at Havre. It's going to be a fun one, and good luck to my Vigilantes. Man, if they made the playoffs this year, how sweet would that be? Oh, I'm excited. Long way to go still. Long way to go. Week by week, game by game, get it done. Let's see. Today is September the 20... What is today? 28th? I don't know what today is. It is the 27th today. It is Wednesday. It is, as we mentioned, Crush a Can Day, Chocolate Milk Day, Corned Beef Hash Day. I don't know why that's not in March. Women's Health and Fitness Day, Scarf Day. When was the last time you wore a scarf? National Day of Forgiveness. And that's about it. Let's see. On this date in 1881, Chicago Cubs beat Troy 10-8 before a record crowd of 12. 1905, Boston's Bill Dineen with a no-hitter. 1923, Yankee Lou Gehrig hits the first of his 493 career home runs. 1930, Hack Wilson hit 2 home runs to give him a National League record of 56. 1942, the Giants beat the Redskins 14-7 without making a first down. 1973, Nolan Ryan would strike out 16 in 11 innings, a record 383 strikeouts that year. One of the greatest all-around athletes in American history passed away on this date in 1956, Babe Didrikson Zaharias. 10 LPGA majors, Olympic gold medals in the 80-meter hurdles and the javelin in 1932. Died at the age of 45. Doak Walker, halfback. George Blanda, all around. Both died on this date, 1998 for Doak and Blanda in 2010. Hugh Hefner died on this date in 2017. The great Hef. Let's do this. Oh, wait, that's the intro or outro. We don't want that yet. What are we doing here? How about this instead?
We're almost at the end of the show. What did we learn? And what did he miss? Time for the walk-off.
Walk-off presented by Cafe Zydeco. Where the Big Easy meets the Big Sky. Stop in for the best Cajun this side of New Orleans. Man, oh man. Good stuff. Jambalaya, crawfish, shrimp, catfish, po' boys. This date, 1964, one more. Findings of the Warren Commission announced on this date, 1964, the assassination of JFK finds that Lee Harvey Oswald acted alone. One of the biggest lies in American history. The CIA basically confirmed they did it last winter. Oh. What did we get to? Saw that Brendan Howard, Isaac Howard, first 2 players to sign with the new pro team in Great Falls, the Great Falls Electric. They'll start play in March. Let's see here. Crosstown girls last night. Helena High defeated Capital. You've got state golf starting tomorrow. Talked a little bit about the Grizz. Sam Herder. If you missed his comments, you can check it out at JasonWalkerShow.com. He had some pretty good comments about why are the Grizz still ranked in the top 25. I know they're 3-1, but if you, like Sam said, you watch those games, the Grizz are not a 3-1 football team and not one of the best top 25 teams in the country in FCS football. You could argue they're not one of the top 30 teams in FCS football right now. They should win at home against Idaho State this week. That would even them up at 1-1 in the Big Sky. But something's going on in Missoula, and it's been tough for a couple years. Not only on the field, but off the field. You had the whole Jace Lewis thing last year with the number 37 jersey with Marcus Wellnell getting it and Bobby Howe wanting his kid to have it. And then, man, I know they made the playoffs, but whew, something going on over in Grizzville. They could right the ship. You got to figure out the quarterback situation. They definitely do. And got to figure out that offensive line. It's supposed to be a great offensive line, and they are struggling to get push. So we'll see. If you missed anything from today, it's JasonWalkerShow.com. That includes our conversation with Tyler Murray, Kyle Mihelish. Thanks for joining us as well. Thanks to our great sponsors, our fantastic fans of the show, 50 states, 56 countries, and Continental Divide Radio keeps growing as well. Appreciate that. We'll come back tomorrow to the Off-the-Wall Advertising Man Cave. Joe Horn will join us, talk Townsend football, and Clint Lang, Jefferson coach, will join us as well. Hope you have a wonderful Wednesday. We'll do it again tomorrow. This is The Jason Walker Show.
The Jason Walker Show is produced by the Jason Walker Media Company. Any reuse, rebroadcast, or retransmission without the express written consent of the Jason Walker Show is strictly prohibited. Just listen, watch, and enjoy.